Looking at the Big Ten here, D, PJ Fleck has a pretty obvious strategy for next year as the Golden Gophers landed a trio of running backs for next season out of the portal. AJ Turner, Cameron Davis, and Cole Cabana. And all three of these guys really bring something different to the table. You look at AJ Turner, last season's nation's leader in yards per carry, coming from Marshall. Cole Cabana, track speed out of high school, has been at Michigan for a couple years, hasn't really factored into their rotation, but out of high school was a 10.5, 500 meter runner. So, I mean, that's just obviously blazing speed, 6 feet, 204 pounds. He was a big recruit, 4-star prospect. Then Cameron Davis, coming from Washington, averaged about 4 or 5 carries a game this season, ran for 190 yards. 4.3 yards per carry, but ran for 522 yards in 2022, and then actually missed Washington's title run. Got a patella tendon injury 2 weeks before the season, which is a pretty bad one. So missed that whole year. And you gotta think, man, what were those conversations like to get all three of these guys on board to commit the same weekend? Obviously not afraid to compete, and they probably think their skill sets can complement each other there.
Yeah, and you look at Minnesota, 113th in the nation in rushing yards per game against FBS opponents. That's not Minnesota. That's not what we associate with that program. I mean, the high point of Minnesota, people think about the high point of this era. You think about Marion Barber, Lawrence Maroney, that just incredible running back room that they had. To be 113th in rushing at Minnesota just doesn't compute. So you see, obviously, an aggressive approach to try to remedy that issue. Different types of backs. With AJ Turner, we've talked about him on this show. One of the most explosive backs in the country at Marshall, led the nation in yards per carry. He brings that element to the team with also some experience. He's not a young player. He's played, he's produced from the Virginia area, so not a local kid. Really, none of these kids are from the state of Minnesota. They are all really from all parts of the country. Turner coming from the East Coast, adding some speed, also some speed with Cole Cabana, who was sort of a viral player with his high school tapes came out. 10.55 in the 100 meters. Didn't really do anything at all at Michigan, but has fresh legs, and that speed has not gone away. He has that ability to make big runs for Minnesota. And then with Cameron Davis, it's more of an older player, more of a mature body type in the room. This is a guy from the class of 2019. He was ranked ahead of Breece Hall and ranked right behind guys like Zach Charbonnet, Kenny McIntosh, who we were just watching yesterday on Monday Night Football or Sunday Night Football playing for the Seahawks. So this is an older player, again, battled through some injuries, but has been a highly rated player from Upland, California. Going to have a chance here to be allowed to, have an opportunity to make an impact, and he's recovered enough to hopefully contribute and add something different to this room. This is a running back room that needs juice. Again, 113th in yards per game against D1 opponents, 97th in yards per carry against, like you always say, D1 FBS opponents. So that room needs a lot of help, and they're throwing numbers at the problem, which to me, why not, right? Let's figure it out. If they can't cut it, they'll be gone. They won't be dragging down your numbers. You have extra scholarships now with the new rules with the 105 scholies. So if you have a problem, throw numbers at it and see who wins the competition.